Welcome to part 7 of the ACP-520 study guide. I'd rather do these at 5 a.m. than at 5 p.m. because holy moly, am I tired. So we're going to try to keep the energy high. Hopefully, I figured if I can answer questions while I'm in this mental state right now of just exhaustion, then I should be able to walk this test. Right?
Yep, exactly.
Okay, so we are going to pick it up today with section 3, admin roles. If you haven't seen the other videos, there's 6 parts where we covered section 1 painfully but slowly, section 2 a little bit quicker, and now fingers crossed and assuming we can stay on track, we're going to try to knock out section 3, all of it. That may seem ambitious, but there's only 2 little sections within it, and so hopefully, assuming we stay on track, we can knock these out.
Yeah.
So let me present my screen and we'll get started. In the meantime, while I'm presenting my screen, make sure you smash the subscribe button. Make sure you like the video. And if you have any questions, we're watching the chat here. So feel free to ask your questions away in the chat. And if not, Bob and I follow up with the comments after the video is published. So there's always an opportunity for you to ask away. All right. So let's kick things off here with section 3 admin roles. This is going to account for 10 to 15% of the exam. Org admins must be able to grant administrative privileges to other users. And to do so, they must first understand and differentiate between the cloud offerings, particularly Jira and Confluence, and then identify their high-level features and recall tasks performed by each admin role. Now, there's a lot of different types of admin roles. And so we're going to be covering all these. So as you can see, we got org admins, Jira product admins, Jira project admins, Confluence product admins, and Confluence space admins. So let's open up some of these tabs and dive right in.
All right. So a lot of you that come up from either Jira or Confluence as admins, you're kind of wondering what this section is all about. And the people that wrote the exam, they told me that this section is really for sysadmins who want to go through the studying of this, but they're not heavy on the knowledge of Atlassian products, and so this is meant to kind of bridge the gap.
Perfect. Yeah. Admins in general, right? There's just so many different flavors of it. So many different roles and responsibilities. I know it trips up a lot of people. Hopefully this is easier than last section, figuring out all those groups and roles, and that stuff was just mind-blowing. So hopefully this is a little bit easier. So let's start off with this slide right here. Hopefully this is the first one, organization abilities. Yeah. So organization, admin abilities for cloud products. Now, as you can see, there's quite a few Geez, I am really that tired. There's quite a few cloud products. As you can see across, we got Jira, a variety of Jira products, Confluence, Bitbucket, Trello, Opportunity, and Status Page. And going down the side here, we're going to see the activity, the action that you're going to be able to do as an org admin. So as you can see, when you're an org admin within the world of Jira and Confluence, you're pretty much going to be able to do almost everything, if not everything. Where things start getting a little bit more into gray areas is when you start leaving Jira and Confluence and you start folding into things like Bitbucket, Trello, Opportunity, and Status Page. In fact, this is honestly one of the more annoying parts because I feel like as a cloud admin of the Atlassian cloud products, you should be the admin of all the Atlassian cloud products. But as you're going to see, there's going to be certain limitations, and we're going to call some of those out in this video. So,
right. And I think a lot of it stems from the fact that the latter products, Bitbucket, Trello, Opsgenie, and Status Page, they're not necessarily homed in the same container, so to speak, as a Jira or Confluence in your organization.
They're complement each other so much, right? At least Bitbucket. Like I get Trello, I get Opsgenie and Status Page. Those are like distant third cousins in my opinion. But Bitbucket is an integral part of the Jira experience, especially for software teams. I also get that there's GitHub and there's GitLab and there's other options. But if I'm Atlassian, I want to put my Apple hat on as an Atlassian executive, right? Because I want that experience between Bitbucket and Jira to be as seamless as possible and as feature rich as possible, so that the thought of even going to GitHub isn't even something that's on my radar. But right
Yeah,
now, the
but
way it's implemented doesn't matter.
a lot of that is due to its history. Bitbucket was on a different cloud provider than Jira Cloud and Confluence Cloud. From the very beginning, it wasn't until about 2 years ago that they even switched to be on the same cloud provider. So it's evolutionary steps, not
So
not a single big
hopefully
bang.
they get there. They are like every quarter it seems that we're making incremental steps in the right direction. But this picture right here is going to summarize it. So as an admin, as an org admin, you're going to be able to manage the products from an organization, right? So you're going to be able to do pretty much all the tools and all the products.
Right.
That's a given. You're going to be able to verify the domain. So this is going to be something that you're going to be able to do for everything, with the caveat that ops tuning status page says for users that have Atlassian accounts only. So keep in mind, it looks like you could do non-Atlassian accounts. Manage your users' accounts for Atlassian. Again, across the same thing. Grant product access. This is all going to be the same. Now, discover products your users administer. These are automated things. These aren't something that you opt into. They're just something that you get, and it's a really annoying thing. But essentially, when your users are using your superawesomeurl.com domain and they go to Atlassian.com and buy their own Jira, which is something they can do, because they're using their at your superawesomeurl.com, that product will become discovered in your main Jira or main Atlassian account. So you'll see main Atlassian organization. So you will see that product. You can't really do a whole lot, and Atlassian is not very helpful here, but they do give you like a link to see who created it, like who the admins are, and the name of it, and the number of users, and like that's pretty much it. Not very helpful. You can connect to a Google Workspace if only from a Jira and Confluence perspective. These two again you're going to see a trend here. These are together. Bitbucket won't have that capability. Trello won't have that capability. Ops tuning status page. Status page apparently does, but just keep these in mind. I don't know how much of these you need to know and memorize for the test.
So
But
let me give you that answer. I actually do know. You only have to worry about Jira and Confluence.
Yeah,
for
that's what I
the
was gonna say.
exam.
I'm like, if I had a guess, these two are the ones you need to know. So I would memorize like this stuff on the left with respect to Jira and Confluence, which is pretty much everything, right? So and every item here on the left, honestly, is describing activities that a Jira admin, Atlassian admin, really, which is what you're being certified for. This is what they do. These are the items that we do every single day. So it makes sense that these items would be on the exam, and it makes sense that these items are covered. So with respect to Confluence and Jira, just know that you can do all of this stuff here. So that's pretty much it on that article. Let's move down to, did we find another dead link? Administering Jira Cloud products takes me to, I guess it's not a dead link. It takes me to all the set of Jira documents.
Think of it as a link tree.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah, it's kind of the master page of all of the things you do. And if you're a Jira admin, if you're a Jira product admin, you can run through that list, and you're definitely gonna say, yeah, I do that. Yeah, I do that. I do that.
yeah, so
So
we're not able to cover all of this, but these are going to be things that you're going to be able to have to do. So I would recommend you take a look at that. And then the next link is for Confluence. So same thing. These are all the things that you can do as a Confluence administrator. Now, I don't think that the exam's covering you as like the like you're not going to be quizzed on Jira or Confluence administration, right?
no, you're not. But the key part of this is actually going to be knowing the difference, right? what can a Jira product admin do that a Jira project admin cannot do? And that's that's kind of a basic theme in Jira administration, or at least in these exams that look at Jira administration or project administration.
All right, I'm a little lost here. I don't know how to get back to this thing. I got reverted all the way over here. Here we go. Nope, not quite. Resume course. All right, let's go to the end of this.
Mark that you're completed and move forward to like section 3.
Admin rules. Let's go to admin rules. Here we go. Launch.
There you go.
All right. So jumping in, because again, there was not a whole lot of documentation. So let's see what Atlassian's got for us. We'll do the module overview here. And so this module is about understanding the various types of administrative privileges in Atlassian Cloud. You will need to know the 5 main administrative roles, the product features they use, and the tasks they perform. So let's go. So these are the 5. You're going to need to know the differences between each of these and what they can and can't do. And so we'll start up at the top level, which is org admins, the organization admins. This is the only confusing part because Atlassian's in the middle of a transition, if you will, where org admins equals site admins for as much as you care.
Yeah, exactly. They're kind of hiding site admins and kind of glomming them together with org admins, but just again, follow the course. So 5 levels, org admin is at the top.
Yeah. So the org admin is the most powerful admin inside of your Jira. They manage everything up high. So if you haven't seen the first 6 parts, you definitely want to look at like part 1, 2, part 1, part 2, and part 3, where we discuss like the different sites and the different URLs and what an org is, right? And so these org admins are not specific to a Jira product or to a Confluence product. And they're not even specific to just like one thing, right? Like they're the only thing that they're responsible for is the entire umbrella, which is the organization. So they have the most power. And I would be careful who you make an org admin. And these people have the ability to manage your subscriptions, licensing, and billing. So they can either cost your company a lot of money or they can save your company a lot of money. So you want to make sure that you give these accesses appropriately. They can configure user access settings and grant product access, which again basically deals with licensing. The subscription is one step above because this one, they can actually put credit card information. They can actually buy new products, right? So they have a beyond just granting licenses, they can actually buy very, very expensive things. And so it's not just like, hey, let's just hand out licenses. They can go in and get new Atlassian products, and they can change their credit card bill or credit card information and stuff like that. So very, very powerful yet dangerous responsibility here. They also manage the groups and users with or without managed accounts, which again, whether you're using SSO or not. And they also understand the advanced and premium features and those that come with an Atlassian Access subscription. Now, what about the permissions? So all org admins and only org admins are in a special group called site admins that always exists within an organization. So this is a non-negotiable group. The person who created your Jira, they're automatically that site admin / org admin. And again, my recommendation here would be too many cooks in the kitchen. Be careful with that. So let's do a quick test here. So which tasks are performed by an org admin? So they can grant product access. Choose 3. Oh, I didn't even get that far. Choose 3. So they can definitely
read the question carefully.
Read the question. So they can definitely grant product access. They can manage groups and users. And this is where things are a little tricky here. So they can configure Jira system settings. Maybe, yes. They can configure this. Maybe, yes. They can manage project schemes. Maybe, yes. And they can recall the tasks performed by other admins. Holy moly. I don't know, Bob. I'm stuck here. I can think of 2. I can't find the third one. These 2 are too similar for them to be correct.
Okay.
Because I feel like they both have to be both selected or they don't.
Okay.
I know that this one is too in the weeds. And this one, I don't know that I've ever seen. This tells me that they can undo things that other admins did, which
They
is
can
kind
either
of true.
undo it or they can view it.
Well, recall to me it means either undo or it means to look at. I don't know. I'm gonna take a guess. I feel like this one, and this one are all related, and so they would all have to be true. So I'm gonna rule them all out, and I'm just gonna go with this one because
Okay.
it's the only one that's odd. Let's see what happens. Oh, I got it right. I might be able to pass.
B and C are not correct. Those are typically done by the product admins, one for Jira, one for Confluence. C, managing the project schemes, that's done by a Jira admin, a Jira product admin. So
Yep. This one's the only one that got me because I'm like, I didn't understand this one. I don't get why they can recall the tasks. How are they using the word recall?
I think they can observe through audit logs.
Let me just get it wrong. I want to see what it says. No, it doesn't give me anything helpful. Okay, well, because this to me tells me that they can undo it, and I'm like, well, technically you can, but I wouldn't call it that.
Yeah.
But let's get down, right? So as we work on this funnel, we're looking at Jira product admins. So these Jira product admins are also known as Jira administrators or Jira admins. Now, what happens here, the very first thing that you need to know about, is that they basically lose the ability to manage users, the ability to manage your billing, your subscriptions, and stuff like that. And we're going to take a look at it down here in a second. But they're very specific to the Jira product itself. And so they're going to be, when you think of a Jira admin, this is the role that you're thinking of. Because everything that we've been covering in this exam is, yeah, Jira admins do it, but it's a new skill set that is specific and unique to the cloud that doesn't exist in your data center versions of Jira. So if you're a traditional Jira admin and you're used to managing your users and stuff of that nature, you're going to feel comfortable doing it in the cloud, but just know that it is a whole different beast. But when we look at Jira product admins, this is where we're now like level setting the ground and kind of having apples to apples with respect to an admin in a data center versus an admin in the cloud, because these are the tried and true Jira admins, right? Like these are the folks that are doing workflows, creating projects, doing permissions, fields, schemes, right? So all that stuff. This is a traditional Jira admin, with the caveat that in like an on-premise version of Jira, you also manage your users in Jira versus in the cloud, you don't. It's happening outside of Jira. So hopefully that's clear.
Yeah.
Now, what about their permissions? So Jira product admins are those users who, by virtue of group membership, the Jira administrators group, have product admin role for the Jira administrator product. They may or may not also be Jira end users. I feel like this right here is an exam question. Namely, they may or may not also have their user product role for a Jira product. Again, I feel like this is an exam question. An example, like the user product role for the Jira software product. Now, these folks here, I would also audit and keep a tight lid on, because your Jira admins can create workflows and screens and fields and all other types of things inside of Jira that may or may not break your Jira. So these folks better be trained. And Bob, help me out here. Which ACP would a Jira product admin be interested in taking?
So usually Jira product admins for cloud, that's going to be ACP-120.
The 120.
Yeah, and then for server and data center, it's going to be ACP-100. So those are traditionally, those are pretty tough exams.
Harder than this one. And I'm already freaking
Oh yeah,
out.
yeah,
Thanks, Bob.
much harder.
Vote of confidence you gave me here. All right. So again, be really, really careful who's your org admin. Be careful who's your Jira admin. But now let's get into the Jira project admins. Now, Jira project admins, I like to be the Oprah of Jira project admins. Not as extreme as Oprah though. I'm not like everybody's a project admin, but I'm less concerned when I'm giving or granting Jira project admins. I don't have to worry about them being as trained or sophisticated in the ways of Jira. I'm not worried if they have an ACP 100 or 120. And really, all they're doing is they're configuring who of your already licensed users have access to their project. They can create versions and they can create components. They can also, depending on your permission scheme, be able to delete stuff as well. And so these folks are trusted people, but you can have a whole lot more of them, and they're probably not going to cause any damage, or at least not anything that's not fixable. And so, as I mentioned, right, their responsibility is to do just their project, right? So it's super, super basic. Your Scrum Masters can be a project admin, basically any lead, right? They configure the issue layout so they can move the fields around. They can create single project automation rules. Maybe Atlassian is now changing this so that you can turn that on or off. They can also change the name of the project, the key, stuff like that. They serve as a liaison between their teams and the Jira project admins to make changes to the project configurations, because what they can't do, and this is kind of like a gotcha, really, they can see the workflows, they can see the screens, they can see everything, but they can't do any of the changes. They're kind of kneecapped and handicapped. And so they do need to work with
Right. I'm gonna throw an asterisk on what Alex just said. That is true unless the project you're on is a team managed project. Then they get the keys to the kingdom only within
for
that
their
project.
little project.
Only within the project.
And so I will, just being transparent, 99.9% of my projects are company managed projects. I hardly ever do a team managed project. As a corporation, I'm not a big fan of team managed.
Yeah.
Especially when you have folks like this, right? Nothing against your project admins, right? But they don't have to go through the same rigor and testing and skill requirement as your Jira project admins, right? And so it's easy for them to just go, oh, I like this. Let me click, 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 click. 6 months, 12 months later, you have 20 different Jira projects. They're all misconfigured. And here you are, an executive trying to make sense of what's north and what's south in Jira. And you can't, because it's all a mess, right? Because there's no best practices. There's no order. There's just nothing beautiful. And then you have to call somebody like release team to come bail you out. So yes, continue down this route.
I am just I know you're preaching to the choir here, so I'm just kind of laying out how Jira can be flexible, and sometimes allow you to be flexible around that tree when you're wrapped around it.
Yeah, so I love the whole Ben Parker, right? Or what's his Uncle Ben? I don't think his last name was Parker, but Miss Uncle Ben, which is with great power comes great responsibility. All right, so what can they do? So as I mentioned, they can basically do just the project stuff, right? So the rest of the project admins do depends on the product associated with their project, as well as the project type and template used. And so in Jira Software, for example, they can configure the Agile boards, components, and versions. In JSM, they can configure the customer portal, customer permissions, request types, queues, and SLAs. Well, they can do a lot more than I thought they could.
Yep.
And what about the permissions? So as a Jira project admin, a user that has the administer projects. So this basically, I can make anybody a Jira project admin, but the permission scheme is going to dictate what they can or can't do based on this role of administer project. So if they have that, they'll be able to do it. And if not, then they won't do it. So check and see. There's a permission called administer projects, and you can put like a role of admin. You can put a group. You can put a user. You can put a bunch of different things. But if they don't have that, then they won't be able to do the what we just described. So all tied to your project permission scheme. All right. So let's see. We got grant and revoke global permissions. That's going to be a Jira product admin. Create a single project automation rule. That's how do I like these are both. I guess it's the one that's most correct, right?
Yeah.
Configuration layout will be the project admin. Manage the details in the sideboard. That's this homie over here. Create, configure, and manage project schemes. That's going to go over here. Configure mail attachments. That's the product admin. Configure default user preferences. That's going to be this guy over here. Configure the portal is over here. Configure Agile boards is over here. Create company managed projects. This is only over here. All right, look
10
at
for
that. 10
10.
out of 10.
You're not as tired as you thought.
Holy moly. Now let's jump into Confluence. So over on the Confluence side, we have a very similar story. So we're going to have the Confluence admin, which is going to be the equivalent as the Jira product admin, right? And so again, they don't do the billing, they don't do the subscriptions, they don't do the user management, the groups and stuff like that. But they can do things inside of Confluence. And unless they are in both the group for Jira product admin and Confluence product admin, they can't crisscross. So if you exclusively only give them one, but not the other, then they're only going to be able to be the admin for that one product and not the other. Waiting for you to correct me or say,
So that is if you don't remember our last session where we actually kind of went through and with groups we allowed specific access and roles even on to Confluence, even on a group that had the word Jira in it. So
okay. So what do these people do? What can a Confluence admin do? And the Confluence admins don't usually get a whole lot of love, but they're still important people. They're still very, it's just, I feel like there's like, you can spend an entire eternity learning Jira administration. And I think you can knock out Confluence administration like before lunch. But that's maybe that's just me.
or at least fake it before lunch.
Fake it before lunch. Watch Andy just come at me in the chat. Go,
Yep.
no, what are you talking about? Although Andy, he's just a self-proclaimed Confluence aficionado, right? But not so much an admin.
Right.
Like he just likes being a power user, right?
Yeah.
All right. So Confluence admins can do the look and feel, system settings, global templates, global permissions, and maintain the health of the system. So they can do a number of tasks such as configuring and managing Confluence systems. Everything I just said. They perform data imports and exports. So this is important. So they can export spaces. They can install marketplace apps. And it should be noted that over here, I'm surprised they didn't include it over here, but the Jira admins could also do the apps. Did they not include that over here? I didn't see it.
Did not.
But the Jira admin can do apps as well. They can and also maintain the health. I don't get this maintain the health of a system.
I'm not sure about that. I think it's like, because I mean, we're talking about cloud here. It's not like maintaining the system resources of a server or data center.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it implies that in Confluence you have to like be re-indexing and cleaning up databases and stuff just to keep the system healthy. But
yeah, that's not.
I guess they can archive and delete pages, but that's not really a thing that Confluence product admins would like necessarily always have to do.
Yeah,
I don't know. This one's a little bit. I mean, I don't think it's misleading, but I think it's superfluous here. They do manage global permissions in Confluence, so this is an important one. One thing to note, and I think this is super interesting. So unlike Jira Software, where Jira Software, and I'm going to pull this up since we have a few minutes here. So in Jira Software, and I should probably pull up the one that I actually want to look at. So when we're looking at Jira Software pricing, when we're comparing standard versus premium, right, doubling your price, the functionalities that you get, right, the bubbles over here, this is end user features, right? This right here, sandbox, release tracks, these are end user features. Like a user is going to use this stuff. This little section right here is like an admin thing, and really you only get one, an IP allow listing. But everything else, the differences between standard and premium, they're going to be functionalities. But when you look at Confluence, the difference between standard and premium, it's really interesting. This is an admin thing, admin thing, admin thing, end user feature, end user feature, admin, 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 end user, or just admin.
Well,
So,
I would argue that a sandbox and a release track aren't necessarily end user features. Those are really more for the
okay,
admin side.
okay, fine. But the sandbox, the ability to create it is an admin thing, but who's going to use the sandbox? It's probably going
Admins.
to be the end user.
You have end users making their Jira
Yeah, I have
product
them
in
test things out
sandbox.
in the sandbox, like figure out get their life orders, affairs in order before they come over. Mainly like in Jira, right? Like I have a user that tests, so I'll do the configurations, but then they go and do the UAT testing of it, right? They go in there and make sure that it's gonna work, that it's gonna fly for them, and then we go move it over to to production. But it's in the end user's benefit.
Well, this is well, it's for the end user's benefit, but it's in my perspective, it's not typically end users that
Okay.
take advantage of a
Fine,
sandbox
fine. I'll give it
because
to you. Let's agree to disagree. But the point is, when you do pay double, you're mainly paying it to make your admin's life easier in Confluence. Like all of this stuff is admin related. Then, right?
I
You're
agree.
getting, other than team calendars and automation, you're not getting a whole lot of features. Although breaking news, there may or may not be a video dropping on my channel here very soon. But breaking news, when you go to premium, it's going to be the difference of how many whiteboards you get now. I don't know if you caught those news yet, Bob.
That was something that we may or may not have been saving for the Jira Life too. So
It's a breaking news. We got one person watching.
yeah,
It's probably you.
it's probably me. So
Breaking news. By the time people catch up, we'll would have streamed it on the Jira Life. All right. So let's finish this one. So what about the permissions? So Confluence product admins are those users who by virtue of group membership have the product admin. Basically, they're the Jira admin, but in Confluence. Now the Confluence-based admins, this is a checkbox that you give somebody the power, very similar to how in Jira for that project admin, you give them the permission in your permission scheme. Well, over here, they're gonna basically be able to keep the health and status of their page. So they're gonna be able to add users. They'll be able to set restrictions on pages. They can reorder their pages, archive their pages, export them, and delete them. They can also do things at the space level, so they can edit their sidebars, the look and feel of their settings, such as the themes, templates, page layouts, or PDF export. And then again, they're also the liaison between the Confluence admin. So let's see. Configure global. So anytime you hear global, it's got to be the big boy. Anytime you hear it not, it's the little one. So configure the space. That's going to be this one, this guy, this guy. Configure default. Default's the big one. Manage is the little one. Oh, this one. This one. Manage reordering, archiving. That's this one over here. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
All right. So finally,
match main responsibilities, match left to the right.
Confluence-based admin can. How do these move? Okay, left to the right. Or so, okay, work with the Atlassian admin hub and manage the site. Okay, that's this guy. Do I just drag it like this?
You just drag it and try and stick it.
There we go. Okay. Configure Jira system settings and global permissions. That's this homie here. Manage the project role membership. Oh. Well, it's got to be this one because projects don't exist in Confluence, and I only have 2 options left. Configure Confluence and global. So global tells me this guy, and space tells me this guy. They make it easy here, like Toyota. All right, let's go to the exam itself because we got, in the interest of time, we want to finish this section up. Okay, so here we got a bunch of users, 6 users. This is what they're doing. Which one's definitely an org admin? Ooh, how many users are definitely org admins? They can create a new group. That's an org admin thing. Org admin thing. This is not an org admin thing. This is not an org admin thing. So not Agatha. Suggested changes to a user. This is an org admin thing. Holy moly. This can be done by anybody. So I got 1, 2 for sure. 3 for sure. And I want to say 4. So I'm going to go with 4.
I'm thinking 3.
3, 2. What? Row
2.
1 is definitely org admin. Gotcha. Row 2 is not definitely. Why? Added a new group to a global permission. Oh.
Oh.
No.
Added.
Wait, that would be
So
a Jira admin thing.
that would be a Jira admin.
So that brings us down to 3. Now, why is this one not? So Steve is not. Jira admins can set the default user preferences. What does default user preference mean? I kind of feel like that's misleading because user default would be at the org level, no? Why would a Jira admin set a default user preference? Because when you look at this, your Jira, this is, what is my Jira admin doing? What can my Jira admin do? Can they go here? And this is my own thing. Let's do what's in global. Ah, this right here, Bob.
Yep.
That's shame on you, Atlassian. That's a tricky question. That is a tricky question. This right here, the only, by the way, little sidebar, this is the only setting I've ever updated where I don't make my filters private because I hate that they're private all the time. But okay, I'll give it to you, Atlassian. Only 2. I would have definitely gotten that one wrong.
All right.
For each row in the table, determine if the admin role on the left has the correct administrative privilege. All right, let's focus on these, Bob, because we're 37 minutes into this. I'm getting tired by the second. Okay. So for each row on the table, determine if the admin role on the left has the correct administrative privilege on the right. So a project admin, add groups to a global permission. Yes. No. Definitely no. A Jira admin can create sandboxes. I'm going to say no, because this happens on the org level. An org admin can delete unmanaged accounts. Definitely yes. A Confluence admin can manage global blueprints. Yes, so that's 2. And configure customer portals. That's a JSM thing. So I'm going to go with 2. What say
Hold
you?
on. Wait. I want to let's see.
Project admin cannot do global permissions
Okay, that's a
at
no.
all. The
Second one's a
Jira
no.
admin can't create sandboxes because that's on the org side,
Okay.
right? You got to go.
Yeah, you have to be an
here,
org admin to create or delete
and then
sandboxes.
you go over here. So if you can't get to the site, then you can't do it.
Right.
They can delete unmanaged accounts, so yay.
Okay, so I'm gonna say that's a no.
An org admin delete unmanaged.
I'm gonna say that's a no.
Okay, the only because of the technicality that org admins can't delete unmanaged accounts. So 1?
Because delete is different from remove.
I know. Why do they do these dumb things to me?
Because words matter.
This is where they were saying that where Joanne was saying that the exam builds upon it, right? Like you gotta have remembered this from previous sections to now use it in this section. Okay, well let's go with 1 then, because this one's correct though.
Yes.
And this is incorrect because this is a JSM thing.
Yeah.
Look at that. We would have gotten on the technicality. Woo. All right. Going over to 3.2 then, before we get there, there's just one little section here. We're going to learn how to grant and revoke admin powers. So let's see what's up here. So again, we're in the centralized. In case you're joining for the very first time, this is the exams on the centralized. And so you centralize user management content. Share management tasks in your organization by assigning admin roles to users. When you create an organization, you become an org admin and automatically get admin permissions. Then we have product admins that can administer settings inside the product, depending on the group membership. Not all product admins need product access, so product admins don't need to be in Jira, which seems counterintuitive to me. Makes sense, but I don't get why. Like he need to eat your own dog food, I feel. User access admins. So these are new. So this won't be on the test.
Right.
But this is an admin that can only manage the users and not do the Jira stuff. And then we got org admins. They administer users and groups for the organization's products. So basically everything we've been talking about for the last 7 sections. So it's important to note that users can hold multiple roles at once, and admin roles don't automatically give access to all the products in your organization. You may need to assign additional access roles like the user role to an admin if they need a product. You know what I've always thought was weird?
What's that?
And it always trips people up that an org admin can't automatically access every project.
Yes, that's true.
I mean, you can see them all, right? You can go
Mhm.
into Jira and you can click on the gear and go to projects over here, and
To
you can
the
see
managed
them.
projects. Yep.
You can see them, but you have to click on the ellipses and go to the project settings, and then you can't see
The data.
the issues, right?
Yeah.
This right here is also very trippy. Atlassian really wants you on premium. It used to be that they wouldn't even show you the functionality, right? But now they're
Mhm.
like, this is like I wonder, this person who came up with this idea here and this idea here, they must have gotten the biggest bonus of their life. Because talk about like, how do we sneak upsells into our product? I know. Let's give everybody all the power and then gently remind them that they don't have the power unless they pay us money. Oh, Atlassian.
Okay.
I love you. I love you. But
Back to product admins.
all right, make someone a product admin. As an organization admin, you can make another user a product admin. So stuff is really easy. I feel like we've covered a lot of this already, right?
We've covered it before, but
But
it bears repeating that where you make somebody a product admin for Jira is going to be different than making somebody a product admin for Confluence, right? Because in Jira, you actually do it on the special product Jira administration. And that will cover that person for any flavor to be a product admin for any flavor of Jira. If you have it installed, Jira software, Jira work management, Jira JSM. And then for Confluence, it is a specific administrator role in Confluence.
cool.
Yep.
Okay. So again, this is pretty self-explanatory though, right? When you're giving access to a person, if you're going to be in Jira, remember all the Jiras are grouped together. You'll see product admin for that. And then in Confluence, Jira admin will have its own call out, which will be product admin. Confluence, which doesn't have multiple Confluence products, it's all just like this. So it'll look just like this in the screenshot here. All right. Let's go down. Making someone a user access. So we'll skip this because that one's not on the test.
And then finally, the big one is making somebody an org admin.
So making someone an org admin. Where's that at?
You actually, it's back up a little bit.
Is that what this one was?
Yes.
Yeah. So you're going to either put them in the site admins group or the org admin group, and then that's it. They're officially an org admin. It used to be that it was different. They used to be in a different place, but it's very, very easy now. It's very, very simple. Okay. Use groups to grant admin permission. So these are everything we've been talking about that whole Confluence admin, Jira admin. It's the Jira -admin / their site name, right? And so it's going to be very, very easy. Same thing with the Confluence one. So you just need to put the users in these groups, and they're going to be either a Jira admin or they're going to be a Confluence admin. The project permission, the project admin, and the Confluence space admin, those happen within the spaces themselves or the project themselves. So there's nothing global.
Yep.
And then we don't need to do original user, right? Because that stuff's not on the test either.
Not really, no.
So let's close that out. And I think we're basically done with 3.2. So let's jump into the material and go through the rest of this course, take the quiz, and we'll wrap this one up today.
Here you go.
All right. So granting and revoking the admin org privilege. So this is really easy. It's so easy that I think this is what causes all the bad behavior, because it's just so easy to give this admin stuff away. But you want to be very careful. You don't just want to give this stuff to just anybody. Okay. So the org admin is very powerful, right? We covered this. So granting the org admin privilege. To grant the org admin role, the user can be added to the group site admins. And that's it. That's all you got to do. Alternatively, though, if you wanted to, you can choose the action, assign organization role, and the ellipses drop down on the user page, which adds the user to the group site admins. In the background, the effect is the same. Afterwards, a gray lozenge.
Lozenge.
What the heck?
Lozenge. All the little oblong things that that you see on Atlassian, like the names of stats, they call those lozenges.
This is the first time I hear this word.
I'm adding that to the educating Alex list.
What was that? What was it from last Thursday?
In addition to presenter mode and Confluence and Roadrunners.
Roadrunners, that's what it was. Appears next to the full name of the person. To remove it, you work in reverse. Remove them from that group. Keep in mind, there's got to be at least one person in that group, right?
Yes.
So you can't ever have an empty group.
And you cannot remove yourself. If you're an org admin, you cannot remove yourself from that group.
And also keep in mind that any site admin, we've covered this before, right? Or org admin, you can't log in as them. So I would have the most minimal amount of people possible. All right, doing the Jira admin thing. This one's easy too, right? So we covered it. You're just going to add them to the product. There's a checkbox for them that basically you check the checkbox under their account and you'll put them under product admin for Jira. This is for Jira. We'll cover Confluence next. But for Jira, you go to the Jira administration section, check the checkbox. Revoking it, again, kind of do it the opposite way. You just check the checkbox away. As an alternative, there is a group, Jira admins - the name of your site. So put them in, or take them out of that group, will yield the same result. All right, same thing on the Confluence side. We can, under Confluence, this is the only one that's a little bit tricky because you got to go to the Confluence product, and then you're going to see the option for product admin. And this is where you're going to want to do like both user and product admin if that's what you want. Because keep in mind, it's not, there's not an and, there's not an or statement, it's an and, or it can be an and. They can be both. Removing them is obviously just deselect that checkbox, and then the alternative is to put them in that group. Now, what in the world can they quiz you on this here? So this test box feels a lot like high school, where you have the example of like 2 + 2 = 4. Like on the whiteboard, the teacher would do 2 + 2 = 4. Then the homework would be like 2 + 2 + 4 equals what? Like it'd be a little bit more complex. And then the test itself would be like 2 parentheses plus 4 to the second power. And we're like, where did all this come from? So I feel like we just learned the basics. I don't know how much more basic you get than this. And then all of a sudden, these questions are like over the top complex. No, that's not how you feel sometimes.
Sometimes.
Or is it just me? Sometimes. Bob's like, that's 6. It's almost 7. I'm done. Right, let's wrap this up. On the user page, add products, product admin roles for Confluence. On the user page, add products, product admin role. This is going to be the Confluence admin. Add a user to a group that grants the product admin role to okay, that's this one here, and the use site admins is over here. Oh man, it keeps going, Bob. The user page, add products. Didn't we do this one already? Or did I get it wrong?
Maybe. No, I think you got it right.
On the user page, select the role. Oh, because there's different ways. Select the
Yep.
assign organizational role. That's the org admin. Add a user to a group that grants product admin roles to Confluence admins. There we go. 6 out of 6.
There you go, 6 out of 6.
How do you revoke them? All right. So remove the user from the group with product admin roles for this one here. Remove the user from the groups. That's for this one here. View on the page. Remove organizational role. That's this guy over here. Remove the user from that site admins. That's this guy over here. Remove this guy and that's this guy. All right, 6 out of 6. Let's go to the last thing, and we're gonna wrap this up in only an hour, Bob.
I know.
All right. Your organization has Jira software and Confluence. You want to ensure that George can approve access requests to both products. What must you do? Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. Let's zoom in here. Your organization has both Jira software. Okay, great. You want to ensure that George can approve access requests on both products. So grant him access to Confluence admin and Jira admin. I would say no, because access is not on the product side. It's up above. Grant him the org admin product role. This doesn't make sense because when you're the org admin, you don't need the product roles. So I want to say that this is like that red herring. Like they want you to think it's this one, but we'll come back. Okay. Grant him the product admin role for Confluence and Jira software. How is this one different? Okay. I don't think it's either of these two.
Okay.
Select the assign organizational role or add him as a member of the org admins group. Oh, great. Now I'm really confused. These two do the exact same thing.
Those two do the exact same thing, but I want you to remember that the exam is going to follow the course. And in the course, there is effectively one group.
That leaves this one then, because there is no org admins group in the course.
Correct.
So let's see. Ta-da. All right. Josefina needs the following privileges. Manage global templates and blueprints. That's Confluence. Mm-hmm. And update project schemes. That's Jira. Both of these are going to need her to be a product, not the project, but the product admin. So this is correct. And this is correct. This is not correct. And this is not correct. This is correct, and this is not correct. So it's A. Because this is not correct. This is correct. Ta-da. Viola. All right. Exit module. We are done. All right, folks. So with that said, we are going to leave it here. We are officially on time and on budget. We are finished with. We are finished with
what happens in the last section, section 4.
Yeah. So come back next week because Bob's busy this weekend and I'm moving this weekend. And so we'll pick this up probably next Tuesday and maybe the following Saturday. Maybe, I don't know, what are you doing the 20th? Maybe we do the 21st.
I'm actually going camping, so
following 2 Tuesdays.
Yeah.
The following next 2 Tuesdays, we'll try to wrap these up. And although I feel like we're gonna need to roll it into maybe a Tuesday something. We'll see. We'll figure it out, but we're gonna pick this up next week, folks. I may have to go solo, but I am moving this weekend, so I'm not gonna have time this weekend. But I may be able to do it the following weekend.
Or I could bring in the Jira guy himself.
You know what? Yeah, the Jira guy himself could make an appearance here. So, anyways, folks, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully, this helped you out. And at this point, we're just one module away, and the test for me is in 1 month. And so, plenty of time to brush up and keep studying. But I am really, really, I don't know if you've seen, Bob, but people are motivated by taking our course here, and they're going and taking the exams, and they're letting me know that I should go do it. And I am.
Oh,
I am going to
well,
go do it.
there you go. There's nothing like, all the people that are watching this course and wanting and urging you on your journey.
All right, folks. Thank you very much. If you haven't subscribed, now is the chance to subscribe. Share this with everybody you know. And if you take the exam, let me know. Let Robert and I know that you took it, and let us know if you passed. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.